Hey VC, John here. Second video from me for this weekend. Still no snow, so fingers crossed it might come overnight, in which case it'll be a right bind getting up at 6 and going to work, but we'll see how we go. As you know, I've recently acquired quite a lot of records. I've got a stack there. There's got to be something like 20 albums there, what with things that people have sent me, things that I got for my birthday, things I bought in Sheffield at a record fair and a record shop, and then in London last week. So I did sort of resolve at the beginning of the week, I'm going to hold off a bit now and not buy anything for a couple of weeks, just so I can absorb those, although some of them, things like the Velvet Underground, I know very well, and Love Forever Changes, which Harry gave me. I already know those albums, so I don't need to absorb those, but I want to really get to grips with Clockwork Angels, the Rush album. But at lunchtime I nip in a few charity shops, and we've talked about this quite a lot of times on the VC, about the difference between Goodwill and charity shops in the UK, but it just seemed to be turning now, and I popped in at one in the week and picked up 5 CDs, and again, the thing I like about the VC is there's a lack of snobbery. You know, there's nobody looking down. Like when I was a kid, me and Harry were talking about this. If you go in a record shop, and I think Jesse might have mentioned this in one of his, Turbo Blur might have mentioned this, that the bloke in the shop was not very nice to him, and that was quite a common thing, I think, in the 70s, the late 70s and early 80s. If you went to an independent record shop, they'd be run by people who thought they were above the common crowd and would look down on people who didn't have great knowledge. And Harry and I have come across an example of this recently, which we've really, now we're older, we get stuck into these people in a big way, you can imagine. But I like about the VC, there's no snobbery. So Brett and I had been comparing notes on this album. I went in the charity shop, and I thought I'll pick up a few things to listen to in the car if they're there, and at 50p each you can't really complain. So this was one of them, Kylie Minogue, Fever. Now the reason, it's not an obvious choice for me, as you'll appreciate, but there was one track on there co-written by a chap called Paul Statham, who used to live near me, I've told you before, and I just wanted to listen to it, but Brett told me he'd already got it, and he dug it out, because I'd told him that Paul was on here, and it turned out that he'd co-written the song with a producer of some of Pete Murphy's solo work. But there's a third songwriting credit on that song, which is with Kylie, and I thought, well, that'd be interesting. Paul Statham, who I remember having a date with my wife's best friend a long time ago, 30 odd years ago, and I sort of romantically thought that he might be sitting in a studio with Kylie writing away. You know, if he was lucky, she'd be dressed like that as well. But then it occurred to me, probably wasn't like that at all. That what probably happened was they submitted the song, and she looked at it and thought, oh yeah, this is really good, but it needs a few changes, and that's how it ended up 3 ways. But you know, that was of interest, and I've just been listening to it. It's classic Kylie, really. Then I picked this up, Semisonic. It's called Feeling Strangely Fine, from the 90s. I need to replace the cover. The Lightning Seeds, Dizzy Heights. Matrix Reloaded, 2 CD sets, got Deftones, Linkin Park, Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, Dave Matthews Band, and again I thought, £50 you can't go wrong. And then this one, I definitely was inspired by this, by the VC. 50p, originally from HMV, which is currently in administration. Hopefully it won't go, somebody will buy it. It was £10.99, 50p. And I'd not got any Moby. I know there's quite a few people like it, this album particularly, his first one that I'm aware of. And when I listened to it, there was quite a few songs on there I'd heard before, and there's one track from The Beach, the movie, which I've seen quite a few times. So those are all things to listen to in the car. I've got to clean them up with a bit of alcohol, really. Then Saturday came, yesterday, and I had to take my daughter to the bank because she'd lost her purse, so all the bank cards and everything had gone, so we had to go and sort that out. But I took the opportunity to go into the charity shops in New Toxteth, which is where I live, which I never do. And I had a look through a couple, couldn't find anything of any interest. There were CDs in there, but it seems that in the UK, as opposed to in the US, people haven't started dumping wholesale collections. In the UK, it's more people, you know, whether it's somebody that's died, and you tend to see a lot of middle of the road stuff. But then you start to see stuff like this of people clearing out, whether they've got it on their iTunes and they don't want the CD anymore. I don't know, whatever the reason is. But I then went into the YMCA shop and spotted a box of vinyl and a turntable. So I thought, this is looking promising. And then I looked to the shelf and I spotted this. And I thought, result, but it's going to be expensive, I would imagine. So I looked at it, and I've already got this, and this box set. I got it a few years ago. Got the 12-inch singles of it, no poster and no 7-inch single. So I actually went out and actively sought those out and to complete the set. Well, I picked this up, and it is near mint, but it didn't feel right. It felt too heavy for the original one. In fact, it was slightly bulging at the top. So when I whipped it open, lo and behold, there's not actually 4 12-inch singles in there. There's 7, and 3 of them aren't actually part of the set. So I picked this up, and this up, and this up. Now, for a Bruce fan, I think Lars put on Facebook yesterday when I did a picture of this that the remixes are horrible, and he's right, they are. I'd actually already heard some of them before. There's the one of Dancing in the Dark there is just absolutely dreadful. But as a completist, for £4.99 you could not go wrong getting 7 12-inch singles plus this box set, which is actually in better condition than the one that I've got. So I've just agreed that Harry can have the other box set. But it got me to thinking about scarcity and value again. I was talking to her. Now, in the rare record price guide, it's booked at about £20 for a complete set. That's with the poster and the single, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get those if I hunt around. It was the US issue of I'm Going Down with Jane Don't You Lose Heart on the other side, and I imported a copy of the single last time to put in my in the box, but I might be able to get it cheaper here. So that was £4.99. I had a quick look on eBay. Somebody's got one for £28 or near offer. Some other muppet has put it on for £70 for or offer, and they've actually put boxes not in great condition. There is a split on one corner and it is dirty in places. I think £70, you need to get in the real world. But it goes to show there are bargains to be had, valuable bargains. And I actually passed up on buying the Sony turntables in there, but I might go back next week, and if it's still there, then I shall take that as a sign that I've got to buy it. So those are my finds this week at VC. Again, I'm going to try and be disciplined, but I am going into London on Tuesday night to meet an old school friend, straight from work, so who knows where we might end up. He and I used to be partners in crime when he used to be buying music. I remember him wagging off school a few times, once to go and buy Pink Floyd The Wall when we were 16, and once to go and buy Duke by Genesis. So who knows what might happen on Tuesday night. So hope you're having a great weekend, VC, and hope it finds you well wherever you are.